Tonight on the Invention Laboratory, we finish up our series on negative invention experiences and how to handle them. Now that we've touched on negative research assessments and a negative patent opinion, we are only left with the inevitable, the negative presentation outcome. If you haven't experienced this already, rest assured you will. The chance of a company pulling on your new product without some sort of pushback is slim to none. There are certainly different levels of rejection, and your success or failure will depend on how well you react or handle said rejection. It's important to note, when a company says no to your product or project, they aren't rejecting you as a creator. Companies are just required to consider every possible outcome when structuring a license agreement. It truly needs to be a combination of the right time, the right product, and the right company. That being said, we also happen to keep in mind that all inventors aren't looking to secure a license agreement. You might be an artisan attempting to secure gallery space, or a private label product developer that's vying for space on an online catalog. You may be a business owner with thousands of units of your products sitting in a warehouse, and your biggest need is a relationship with a fulfillment service that will allow you to stop spending $6,000 a month on a lease in a business park. Every creator is attempting to sell their dream or business plan to a third party with the goal of mutual benefit. If you aren't sure where you fall in regards to your role within your business or what type of business model you wish to adopt, revisit episode 9 and try to hash out how you want to operate when it's all said and done. So far, we've tackled negativity in phase 1 of bringing a product to life. We've covered negativity in phase 2 during the patent search phase, and now we've skipped all the way to the end, or for some creators, their new beginning. In the first episode of this 3-part series, we walked through a situation that most creators would never even consider: collaboration or wholesale. Those negative situations are often a matter of perspective, and they rely heavily on your ability to use what is available to you to your advantage. Unlike that earlier example, we are now much deeper into the process, and you have a lot more to lose as a result of the rejection. You've spent countless hours on perfecting your product and pitch. You've paid for professional assistance in research, development, and the intellectual property arena. And now it seems like the only thing standing between you and the success you deserve is this one-page, cold, boilerplate rejection letter. I can actually feel your temperature rising and the room's starting to spin. It would be so easy to pick up the phone and tell these people where to get off your success train. It would be even easier to reply all to that rejection email and tell these folks that they've made the biggest mistake of their career by not going into business with you on this project. I've been there, and I've also worked with thousands of inventors that have felt exactly like this when it didn't work out the way they planned. Inventing and product development are emotional industries. This project is like your baby. You've watched it grow and come into its own, and now this person that you've barely known for a few weeks is telling you that your child isn't good enough. If you recall, young Ann Makazinski in episode 3 had touched on this very issue. The episode was titled "The Problem with Inventing and Your Definition of Success." The key takeaway from that episode was that the problem with inventing is your definition of success. To this point, you've managed to take an idea that was floating around in your head, you've researched it, set up a small team, created an invention brief, you've acquired a legal patent opinion, you built the product either physically or digitally, and in some cases both. You reached out to a company that you were confident in and comfortable with their business practices as well as their dedication to social responsibility. You managed to get a meeting with a representative at a major manufacturer. You've perfected a presentation that you could recite in your sleep. You followed up with a manufacturer after the presentation, thanking them for their time and consideration. Up until this rejection letter, you have been perfect. Why stop now? Why ruin this incredible process that you've created by blasting off a half-cocked email at 3 a.m.? Why pick up the phone and insult the very people that were kind enough to give you and your product idea a shot? There are some companies in the world that don't even consider submissions from the general public. These folks saw value in you and what you had to offer. It just wasn't right for them at the time. Your only concern at this point should be reflecting on what you could have done differently and all that you can now accomplish by asking one question. Why? Now, don't go asking yourself this question. You'll drive yourself crazy and you'll never get a straight, unbiased answer. Asking the company why they've chosen to pass on your project can open up a world of clarity and opportunity. Here are just a few reasons that you may have received a rejection letter. Number 1, budget. Companies only have so much money they can put into projects annually, and they may not have had the funds to make an offer. Number 2, manufacturing capabilities. Every manufacturer uses certain equipment, assembly processes, and raw materials. Your project may have required the purchase of new equipment, or even an increase in staff to handle the demand. Number 3, new concepts may have been tabled by the executive board. Occasionally, especially during economic downturn, companies choose to table new business and focus on their existing customer base. Number 4, they actually didn't like it. I know that seems crazy to you, but can you imagine what it would have been like to be in the meeting when somebody pitched a blanket with sleeves? Not everyone is going to enjoy your new creation or see your vision. And sometimes, unfortunately, those people have the final say. When you finally get your bearings and you choose to respond to the company or representative, you should keep the same composure that you had the last time that you spoke with them. Keeping your cool will get you the answers that you actually need. After discovering why, you can also ask, is there anything that you would have changed about my product or presentation that would have yielded a positive outcome? Now you're getting to the nitty-gritty. The answers start to shorten and they get more concise. It was too expensive. We didn't like the color scheme. Or we don't work with injection molding. Here is where the opportunity lies. Your objective is simply to keep the door open. Mr. Smith, thank you so much for that valuable feedback. Would you mind if I reached out to you again after I assessed those concerns? If not on this project, I'd like to keep the relationship intact for other ideas that I have. They may be better suited for your company. And now that I have all this additional information, I'll be sure not to waste your time. Can we chat again in 6 months? Relationships are the cornerstone of the invention development industry. This line of questioning can be used in some variation on every one of those business models that we've discussed in the past. Handling any negative presentation outcome comes down to these principles. Stay calm, understand what the rejection actually means, info gather with humility, prop the relation door open, and request an opportunity to try again at a later date. Setting the bridges ablaze and filling your mind with all that negativity is only going to hurt you in the end. As I've said in the past, the road is difficult, but the process is clear. Educate, invent, network, repeat. I hope that this series has given you some ammo for your arsenal and ways to deal with all of those negative experiences as they come your way. Thanks for tuning into episode 15, and as always, reach out to me with any questions you'd like to have answered in future episodes. Until next time, take care.